She slid the divorce papers across the table, like she was dropping off a receipt. Her smile wasn't warm, it was practiced, sharp, rehearsed cruelty. 48 hours, she said flatly. Pack your things. My new boyfriend owns this house now. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I didn't even flinch. Instead, I smiled, just a small curve of my lips. She mistook it for surrender, but in truth, it was the exact moment I stopped being her husband and became her reckoning. That house, our house, wasn't just brick and wood to me. It was sweat, exhaustion, and sacrifice. 2 jobs, late nights, skipped vacations, meals scraped together just to cover the mortgage. I patched the leaks with my own hands, laid every floorboard until my knuckles bled. Every corner held proof of my determination. She once said she loved that about me, that I could fix anything. She had no idea how true that was. I could fix even this betrayal. For 12 years, I gave her everything, love, loyalty, patience. And she repaid me by giving herself away to another man in the very home I built for us. The signs had been there. The sudden nights out, the locked phone she used to leave face down, the way she guarded her privacy like a fortress. I ignored them, until one morning I caught the scent. Cologne on our sheets, expensive, foreign. Not mine. It was the kind of slip arrogant men make when they believe they've already won. But I didn't explode. I didn't accuse her. I watched. Waited. Learned. I tracked her patterns, checked our accounts, pieced together her lies until the truth was sharp enough to cut. And when the picture finally cleared, I saw him. Not just any man, but someone smug, wealthy, and so sure his money had already bought victory. He thought buying the house out from under me would crown him king. He thought cash could erase history. But money doesn't outsmart preparation. What he didn't know was that years ago, I had secured the house inside a trust. On paper, she had rights. In reality, I controlled every thread. She never asked, never doubted, because she always assumed I'd handle the details. And I did, carefully, quietly, building legal walls she could never scale. At the same time, I built my arsenal. I copied everything. Texts, emails, financial transfers, photos. Every dollar of marital money she funneled into her secret escapes was documented and neatly packed for my lawyer. I bided my time, patient as a hunter, waiting for her to make the first move. When she finally slid those papers across the table, she thought the clock had started. 48 hours to erase me. But the truth was 48 hours was all I needed. The first strike was invisible. My lawyer filed an injunction that froze the transfer of the house. On paper, her boyfriend owned it. In reality, the deed was tied in knots, caught in a legal storm he never saw coming. The second strike was clean. I drained our joint accounts to the last cent. Every withdrawal was justified, every document airtight. She wouldn't find a single loophole to use against me. The third strike was personal. I left an envelope in his mailbox. Inside, her words to another man. Not me. Not him. Someone else. Another pawn in her game. I didn't need to twist the knife myself. Her own words were enough. I said nothing. Silence was louder than fury. And by the time her precious 48 hours ran out, the empire she imagined was already in ruins. It all came crashing down on a Sunday. He showed up with boxes, puffed up like a conqueror ready to claim new land. She clung to him, smiling as though she had erased me from existence. But then he saw me, standing in the living room, calm, composed, my lawyer at my side. On the table lay everything. Frozen accounts, trust documents, photos, messages. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't need to. Before you unpack, I told him evenly. You might want to see what you actually bought. His expression shifted. Confusion, then realization, then pure rage. He turned on her, venom spilling from his mouth as he shoved the papers into her hands. She stammered, tried to deny, tried to soothe him. But he yanked his arm away, stormed out, and left her stranded in the wreckage of her own lies. She turned to me then, eyes wide, voice shaking. You planned this, she whispered. I looked at her properly for the first time in months. The woman I had once loved wasn't there anymore. In her place stood someone greedy, careless, small. I didn't plan this, I told her. You did. I just finished what you started. Her lips trembled, but no sound came. For once, her words failed her. Betrayal has a way of stealing eloquence. By the end of that week, he was gone. The house was mine. She was left with nothing but debts and the whispers of her own disgrace. I had her belongings packed and sent to storage, along with the key. That was the last courtesy she would ever get from me. People sometimes ask if I regret it. If I regret not trying harder to save the marriage. If I regret being so cold. But regret belongs to losers. And I didn't lose. She thought sliding those divorce papers across the table was the end of my story. She thought she had written the final line. But she forgot something important. I was the one holding the pen. And when her new lover stepped into that house, he didn't just realize he'd been played. He realized he had walked straight into a story where I always write the ending.